Hey, what's up, comrades? Hope everyone's doing great. We're here to talk about some garbage that I accidentally stumbled into. Um, it's called Celeste Academy, but the book on tape that I'm listening to, it calls it Celeste Academy, or like, like so this is another one of the. This is very similar to the fuck was that called? Constellations. Only constellation. So if you follow me at all, you know I just kind of stumble into things at times. Sometimes I'm like, well, I'm going to read Dune because I want to read Dune, and then I'm going to talk about it. Other times I will just kind of I have like a cachet of like audiobooks that I got that are of light novels, and I got it specifically for I was looking for like Overlord, which I'm going to be getting to next, I think. And then I was just, the way I could find it was like this huge cachet of like stuff. So I just downloaded all of it because I'm like, whatever, torrent. And so periodically I just, and that's how I found Solo Leveling, which I don't care what people say about the anime, which I have not watched, or the manga. The light novel is fucking excellent. And I would read it again 10 out of 10. It's so fun. And like it's like dumb fun and kind of silly, but it's like, man, it's fucking cool. It's like a shonen. It's like Korea's version of like a shonen story. It is excellent. That being said, a lot of this stuff I find is like it's like the first book in like a 10-part series, obviously, and it's just the audiobook. So I'll like listen to it and be like, yeah, I don't think I'll ever listen to this again. Or like it'll be a light novel that was written about an anime that was made in like the 80s, like Slayers. A lot of it's kind of bad, right? But it's like one of those things where it's like I'll go through a series, like I just did the Rift Reward trilogy and like the Crown Door Hymns, and I'm like, all right, I just need like a little break before I get into Overlord, so I'm not just hitting like heavy long series after a heavy long series, and I'm going through like all of Highlander at the same time. So just something to kind of mix it up. So I just grabbed one of these things. It's like a random story. And the other one that was kind of interesting was the cat harem thing, or whatever. I can't remember what it's called, but something about cat. It was good. It was like a 2-book series, and it was like and it was like delightful and cute and just like kind of fun and stupid. And I could definitely see like a preteen girl being like, I love this, the shit out of this. Well written, everything else. Now, Constellations and I'm just going to call it Celeste. Celeste Academy is retarded. So Celeste Academy they're like weekly novels, which weekly novels are like people write like a chapter, or like in this person's case, it takes them like, it's like every week, my assumption, right? There's like these sites like Tapas is the one I'm most familiar with. There's some others where this big thing in like Japan and Korea is that people will start writing these kind of like weekly novels. Well, they'll do like a chapter or like a section of a chapter a week, and then it's like they just kind of do their thing. If they get enough fans, they like produce it into light novels. It's turned out some pretty good stuff. Thus far in America, nothing I've read has ever been good. There possibly is something out there, right? I've not read the extensive knowledge of like the internal library that is what has been written. But Constellations was bad, but it was bad with like potential. This book is bad. The end. Now, was it entertainingly bad? On occasion. Like, on occasion, it was so stupid and retarded that I literally laughed out loud while listening to it. Like, it was, like, mind-boggling bad. Like what? Like, one of those situations where I questioned if AI wrote this, but then I thought about it, and I was like, no, AI would have written this better. Like, that bad. Just like, what the fuck, man? Like, characters just completely being different. Like, for characters referring to things that, like, never happened. Or, like, it's, like, clearly all in the author's head. And just, like, and then it's, like, the phrasing. Like, it's, like, all of a sudden, like, a good example that I'll probably bring up again later if I remember, is that the main character has blue eyes, right? And at some point at the beginning, the author is, like, she has blue eyes like azure. And I'm like, azure is just a different color of blue. Or it's just like the French way of saying blue. Like, it's not, like, it's like being like she had blue eyes that were blue. And it's like, okay, like, the fuck is wrong with you, right? Like, it's not like light blue or blue, the color of like a sapphire, or like crystal blue eyes or whatever. It's like azure blue eyes. And then at some point near like the end of the book in the last couple of chapters, it was like, it just kept being like, she said it like 500 times. I'm going to ChatGPT this right now. Live, like, or not live, whenever you listen to this. I'm going to say ChatGPT Azure Blue explain and see what we come up with. Azure Blue is a bright, clear shade of blue that sits between sky blue and royal blue on the color spectrum. There you go. So people might say the Azure Sea or the Azure Sky. It's got a hint of green. All right, so there you go. So when you're like, would you like me to show you a visual of what Azure Blue looks like? No. Okay. So that just reiterates my point. It's like, okay, so if you say azure blue, it's like you're not technically wrong, right? Right? It's like saying crimson red, but it's like you already told me what color. I don't need further definition of the fucking thing. Like, learn how to use goddamn language in this. And the whole book's like this. Like, they'll like say the same words twice, and then it's like there's a lot of like weird, and this is the reason I was like, did an AI write this? Because there's a lot of like hand wavy, or just not even hand wavy, just like vomited out sentences or statements that don't make any fucking sense. Like there's a whole thing, like just like anime stuff, like anime logic. Like someone's like, I want to do a weekly novel, and I want it to be kind of anime, like an anime, but I'm gonna write it, so it's gotta be in English, and yada yada yada. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because it's like, it's just like going, and it's like, oh, she's blonde with blue eyes, she's blonde with blue eyes, he has like gray hair or like light white hair, and then all of a sudden it's like, it's just like a throwaway comment that's like, oh, some people just happen to have blue hair and pink hair, it's just how this world works, because this girl's like isekai over to this other world, right? Of course. And so there's the isekai thing, and then there's just like random anime hair, which had a purpose in like anime originally, to like, because you're drawing these characters and they look somewhat similar, and it just kind of helps differentiate them. Anyway. And then there's like the weapon choice, because she goes to Celeste Academy is like a place where the main character, I don't remember her full name, I'm gonna call her Val, because it's Valerina or Vala fucking something. So Val is at this like Knight Academy where like everyone has elemental powers. Yeah. So just talking about it makes me angry. It makes me give up hope on life. And I was telling my wife while reading this shit. Oh, sorry. So the weapon thing. And so it's just like, so everyone's got to have a different weapon, like in a fucking JRPG, right? So I'm like, did an AI write this? But then at the same time, I'm like, no, an AI would have done better. Because at one point, there's like a character she has to fight, and this character is fighting with a lance. And I'm like, do you not know what a lance is? Because and there's a whole, because at first I'm like, well, okay, whatever, fucking whatever. But like a lance it's a spear, right? It's like a longer spear, right? It's specifically is used in the back of horses, because you're like, it's there to charge, and then the character like pulls out their sword or their mace or their like whatever the fuck else they're fighting with to fight with. You don't just like melee combat with a fucking lance. And if you did, it would be like somewhat like ranged, like you would be like stepping away. There's a whole thing in this battle, which I'll get to, where the Val's fighting like this douchebag, and he fights with a lance, and then someone's like, oh no, she got too close range. The closer you are, the better his weapon is for fighting. And I was like, the fuck do you think he's fighting with? Like, what? But again, I just laughed. I was like, what the fuck? And then like one of these characters, not someone she fights, there's like the 12, obviously, because chicks in America are like obsessed with, what is it called? Astrology. So there's always going to be 12 is like a big number that keeps popping up, right? And it's like a holy Christian figure or number as well. But anyway, so and then when we're getting introduced to them, we get like vague hair color and look, like very vague, and then we get like weapons, and not like weapon style, just like he uses a bow, he uses a glaive, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't think this fucking person knows what a glaive is. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Anyway, it is bad, y'all. It is so bad. So we start off with the prologue. There's a woman named Seraphina who has like a personality in the prologue and the first couple of chapters that completely changes midway. Like there's no trauma, there's no like lessons learned. She just like wakes up one day and has a completely different personality. And then there's this guy Aaron who also has a completely different personality after this opening scene. Because in this he's like very serious, and then he's just like fucking goofball going forward. Anyway, so they're in Boston because why not? And they're coming from like a different world. They like teleport in, and she has a mission to accomplish and something. Then we skip to we're done with those assholes for now. So now we go to the main character, who's Valerina's Kerrigan, which is it's like one of those sloppy like romantopocalypse, all these shitty books kind of names, right? It's just like, what the fuck? Valerina Kerrigan? Like, why isn't she just like Sarah Brown, you asshole? Like, the fuck? Anyway, she's late for breakfast or something. She has like a sass. At first she mentions having a brother and sister, and then the sister gets like dropped completely. Shitty book, man. And there's a brother, and they spent a lot of time in this first chapter introducing us to her brother and her mom, and they like disappear from like the whole rest of the book. So again, it's like poor writing. Like, you like start off and you're gonna write about these people and then have no intention of like bringing them back. Like, the mom kind of comes up later, but it's like they're completely unimportant, so they should really not be in the book at all. Now, let's take a writing lesson from her greatness, Harry Potter lady. I don't remember her name, J.K. Rowling or something. Anyway, you have this whole scene with like the Dunsleys or whatever at the beginning, right? And it establishes so much, and they come up later, and they have their own like change of heart, or at least the cousin does, throughout the series, right? It's none of that in this shit, right? It's just like, oh, sassy brother. And then single mom because dad died, and that's important that dad died. But this all she could have just been like at fucking school, and like thinking about her family, and that would have been good enough, just to kind of like establish some stuff. Because this doesn't really establish anything. All it establishes is that one, Ballerina is an autistic teenage boy or middle school boy, but she's not. She's supposed to be like a sexy woman who's like maybe a tomboy, but she's written like an autistic middle schooler boy. Like that's how she's written. She like curses all the time for no reason, but she never says fuck or shit. So she'll be like, asshole, bitch, bastard, you're a bitch, asshole, cunt. And then it's like, go Shazam yourself. And it's like, I'm like, what the fuck am I reading? Like, it's like, what the fuck? And for all the ladies out there, there is no sex in this. This first book, absolutely nothing. No kissing. There's like a whiff of like a hint that she may be attracted to the main character, like the main boy, who is obviously like cold towards her and hates her for like no reason, and she hates him for no reason, but he's hot and he's got like sick abs. So I'm assuming if this series did go on, I'm not even gonna look because I give that little fucks about it. Like at least Constellation, I was like, well, this is kind of interesting. I can see this going somewhere until like the very end, and then it just like completely fell apart, and then the person stopped writing. And I was like, I can see that. They're just like, I gotta finish. I just gotta put slop on the paper because I don't know what's going on. Like the characters like completely lost all ability to like function normally by the end. Anyway. But at least the main character and the love interest had like a connection and like grew and like could appreciate each other, and there was like a reason why he hated her because she was like a monster. And this is just like, oh, human, fuck you. And she's like, oh yeah, fuck you, you bastard, asshole, dick face wad, and then like slaps him in the face. And so then he like slaps her back, and then she goes like and then she does like and so she like kicks him in the nuts. Like she escalates everything like extremely. And then like people are like, she's so nice, and I'm like, when the fuck is she nice to anybody but herself? Like holy shit. Anyway, I'm getting like way ahead of myself. Like this book is so bad. Let's see. Okay, so she's got like a huge duffel bag, and she's going somewhere to meet somebody, and then she gets like, it gets stolen for some crazy reason. Like, why would a guy steal a giant duffel bag instead of just like an old lady's purse? Who knows? So plot can happen. So he chases her, and then he gets bit by a dog, but the dog ends up being like a demon, and so she attacks it, and then he runs off, and then she continues to try to fight this like demon thing, and then eventually Seraphina shows up to like save her, and then she's like, you saw that demon? That's incredible. I can't believe you saw that. And then Val's like, I have so many questions. And then Seraphina like gives her like a potion, and she's like, drink it, and then she nopes out. Val then races to the airport to meet with Sandra, and we have a whole fucking long scene with Sandra, who's like her best friend and her family, and they're going to the Philippines for some reason, and it's just like so boring, and it never comes up again, ever. So like, why the fuck did this happen? Like literally, let me rewrite this story for you. Okay, so we need to meet Seraphina, we need to have a demon, and we need to have some like Val needs to have some sort of like, I have a family, or this is like how I grew up. You literally just have Val wake up, she's like, oh shit, I gotta run to school, and then she runs, and she's like, oh, mom must be at work already, she's working so hard for us after my dad died. And then that's it. You don't need a brother. The brother does not need to exist in this at all. It just needs to be her and her mom. Like the brother being there has no effect on the story. And then so she's running to school, and then some guy like bumps into her and knocks her backpack off, and then while she's in the garden, he grabs it and runs. So then she runs after him, and then then the whole Seraphina thing happens, and then she gets to school, and she's just talking to her friend, and friend's like, oh man, you okay? You look all cut up. What happened? And she's like, I don't know, there's some crazy thing. And she's like, you need to go home and take a rest. And so then she goes home, and then her mom, because I'm not rewriting the story better. Like Mocha literally, because then it's like the next day, all right, so she has this whole like crying moment with like this best friend that never comes up again, and like her parents who love her like a second daughter who never come up again, right? So it's like all just wasted space and boring and bad. And so the next day in the story, not the one I'm editing, that's 1,000 times better, she's like on her way to, she's just like moping around the house because I guess it's Saturday, and the mom's like, let's go out for lunch and then we can have a good time and spend some time together as a family, but also the brother for some reason because he's got to be there. So instead of that, she comes home early from school. The mom's like home from work because maybe she's working, that's better, she's working nights, she was asleep when the girl left. There we go, I'm editing myself, which this person had nothing, there's no editing at all. So then she's like, oh hey, let's go grab some lunch while you're here anyway. She goes, Seraphina comes up to her like later in in the morning instead of like the next day, and is like, hey, I need your help because you can see demons and I can't. And so they go hunt demons, right? So anyway, so the next day she's moping, they're having lunch. There's this whole scene about her like choosing from a menu, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? So then Seraphina does come. She's like, hey, we got to go find demons. They love fear, which again never comes up ever again. It's just poor writing. And so then, because later on when they're in like Seraphina's world, demons just like are there and like fuck all. The fear has nothing to do with it. It's kind of like in Constellations, where it was like it's so hard to figure out why these like phantoms have like their weak spot, and it's like this huge ordeal, and it takes like a whole group, and you got to send people in advance to figure it out, and then all of a sudden it's just like people are just massacring them en masse without any consideration whatsoever, and it's like, okay, I guess we're just not doing that. And there's like thousands of them when before there was like maybe tens. Anyway, both these books are shit. So they head out, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, so Val buys ice cream for Seraphina, because this book's just like putzing the fuck around. Like instead of going to hunt demons, she's like, let me get you ice cream. So they get ice cream, and they're just like girl talking it up. And I'm just like, the fuck's happening? And then finally they're like, oh, let's go to this haunted house in like the middle of summer that just happens to exist at like some carnival that's just lying around. Like again, it's like just, okay, so plot can happen? The fuck, man? So they go in there and it's like huge, because they spend like hours there just killing demons. And finally they just like fucking kill them all. And it's like, Jesus Christ. What the hell? Because it was like a nest or something, and no humans died. No one knew anything this was happening. It's like they got there just in time, even though it's been like a whole fucking day, right? So again, it just happens later in the day. Like Seraphina showed up, like this needs to happen like bam, 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 right? Because if you like wait at any time, none of it makes sense, and it's all like the fuck, man. There'd be like mass hysteria about this crazy shit going on. Anyway, okay, and so then later that evening, they're like hanging out at the park talking about a good job they did, and then this dude Emmett shows up, and he like mansplains to Seraphina and throws some toxic masculinity around, and Seraphina tells Val to leave. And you might think this Emmett guy is important because they spent a lot of time with Emmett and Val going back and forth about their history. Never comes up again after this. Hope you're noticing a trend. Oh Lord. Don't worry, soon characters get introduced, stay introduced, but this first like several chapters, it's just like whatever, YOLO. None of this matters. You could cut this whole fucking thing out and just have like a flashback later on in the book that explains all this. In fact, that's probably 1,000 times better way to write this. We should just start off with Val at the Celeste Academy fighting a duel, and she's being, how the fuck did I get here, like in medias res. And then in fact, there's like, as soon as she gets there, she has to fight this Courtney chick, and she beats her barely. There should be a scene where everyone's cheering her, and she's standing over Courtney's like collapsed body after beating her and being like, holy fuck, I can't believe I just did that. And then it's like, you might wonder like why I'm here. Like, how did I even get here? And then she's like, oh, there was like a day a couple weeks ago before I got to Celeste Academy, and then you could have all this shit, right? That'd be so much better. So like, it's not hard. Like, I am not a writer. Like, holy shit. Jesus Christ, this book is so bad. Anyway, so Val gets home, and her mom's like, where were you? And she's like, don't worry about it. And her mom's like, okay. So then she lays down in bed, can't fall asleep. She gets up, she goes back to the park. She finds a sword, and then she finds this Emmett guy. The Emmett guy like uses toxic masculinity to like knock her out and drag her to like this other world. And then she wakes up, and she's in some sort of like trial, like, and Aaron's there, and some other people, and they have like this back and forth, and there's more like toxic masculinity. Don't worry, the toxic masculinity like drops off after this pretty quick. It just becomes like a normal thing. And this is where we meet Aaron, who's now he's non-serious. He's like goofing around and poking people in the ribs and making jokes and stuff. And we find out that they're going to kill her, but they decide not to kill her. They're going to enlist her in like the Celeste Academy, and Seraphina is going to be like her mentor or whatever and be in charge of her. And there's some girl bossing, and then they throw her in prison after they decide that, I guess. And then I was like, I thought they decided she's going to be in the Celeste Academy, but I guess they had not decided yet. Anyway, so then she decides to just annoy the guard because she's a cunt. And then he falls asleep, so she's like very easily escapes. And then she fights some guards, and she's never used a sword in her life, but then she's able to like easily beat them. And then she gets like choked out. But like sexy choked out, right? Like not like checked out, but like God, what's the guy's name? Craven, that's his name. So this Craven guy, who's like the main love interest, he like chokes her out in like a sexy way, where, you know, because it's a book for women and they're all into that. And so, but then like the head of the academy and Aaron come up, and they're like, hey, what's up? And they're like, okay, cool, so we were gonna enlist you in the academy. Or they don't even say it like that. They don't even say like this was already decided in the previous like chapter, 5 chapters or whatever fucking long it goes. But they're like, oh, okay, so you can enlist in the academy, or you can be a slave forever. And then you're allowed to like write one letter to your mother. And okay. And then Seraphina's just like pops in. There's like no introduction where it's like, oh, Aaron, the headmaster of like the Celeste Academy, and Seraphina are here. It's like Aaron and the headmaster find them. They're craving, quick turning her on with her choking out business. And then they're like chit chatting with her for a while, and then like Seraphina starts talking, and like, where the fuck were you here? Like what? Anyway, but he's a super handsome guy who choked her out, so obviously he's the main love interest. Because bitches, am I right? Anyway, so he's a total asshole, but he's also super nice, right? He's that. Yes, yes, exactly what you think. So he's very nice at times, but other times he's just a complete asshole. Okay, so he takes her to her room. It's a complete disaster, and he's like, you have one day to clean it up. So she does that, and then she has to do the entrance exam. So Craven brings her to Seraphina, who like trains her all night long, and they find out that they're like this academy is built in the middle of like the island full of demons, and it's like all the demons are kept captive on this island along with this academy for some reason. But the barrier, don't worry, the barrier protects them. Nothing bad could ever happen with that, and nothing does ever in this book at least. So she goes. She duels and practices with Seraphina, who teaches her how to use a sword, even though she already knows how to use a sword, obviously, because she like took out like a trained guard. Like, Jesus Christ. She writes a letter to her mom, and then she goes to fight Courtney. And who's Courtney? Courtney is one of the 12. The 12 are the 12 best students in the school, and they're the ones who are going to become like Celestial Knights. Or Celestial Knights. Stupid ass book. Anyway, so she's the 5th best student. So why is she fighting the 5th best student? Don't worry. She's a Mary Sue, so she's going to beat the shit out of Courtney, which she does. Let's see. So they train. Corbin shows up. Okay, she takes a bath. Nice. She then heads to the fight. Everyone's there to watch because it's like a big deal because apparently, so in this is like, now they're in the other world. Right? In this other world, they're all like, I don't know, something. We're going to call them Hunes. Right? Why the fuck not? So they're Hunes, and they don't like humans because humans are weak ass, and they live in their own world. And the humans like don't get along, I guess. Even though humans have no idea that the Hunes are there, but the Hunes are like, it's as stupid as it sounds. Let's see. So then, obviously, Val cannot lose, so she uses like the power of like being a girl boss to defeat Courtney, who's also a girl. So I don't know. Courtney's not enough of a girl boss. I think it's the lesson we all need to learn. You need to be more of a girl boss. So she girl bosses to victory, and then Courtney, who has like a temper problem, gets super mad, and she starts using like wind magic to send like razor blades to attack Val, and then Seraphina like blocks because using magic in like this duel was like it's like haram. You're not supposed to do it. It's against the rules. At least in this one, you can later on. They're like, in duels you're never supposed to use magic, and then later on they're dueling. She duels somebody else, and like everyone uses magic and no one gives a fuck. So I was like, okay, well I guess it's only a rule when it's convenient for the plot. What else am I supposed to get from this? Anyway, so then Courtney gets like suspended or whatever, and because she beat like the 5th member of the 12, she now is the 5th member of the 12 because fuck it, why not? All right, so then she obviously complains and whines about being here and just wants to go home. Also, there's this whole story about how she has to wear an amulet because like the pressure is different here, and there's some like random bullshit about how she's 17, but because this world ages slower or something, she's actually 34. Right? Which is like, okay. Lord. Stupid ass shit. And then, let's see. Okay, so then we get like a chapter of like her mom, which is very confusing because she's just like worried that her daughter's been gone for like however long. And then she gets like this letter, and her son like read the letter, and then the mom like recognizes some symbol or the name of the Celeste Academy. Like they just essentially are like, hey, this is me, I'm Aaron, you never met me, but I'm like some guy who's important at the Celeste Academy, and your daughter's got like a full ride scholarship, but she has to stay there for like so long, and like maybe she can come visit, we'll figure it out, don't worry about it, but if you want to send her anything, just like send it to us and we'll make sure she gets it or whatever. It's like a military academy or something crazy, like she was kidnapped in the government. And then the mom's just like, okie dokie. Cool. All right, back to Val. So Val is in some class, and she talks, or someone's telling her about how Courtney got suspended, but she'll be back eventually, and so she better be ready because Courtney's going to be pissed and want to fight you to get her place back because being a part of the 12 is like super duper special and whatnot. And then Craven gets her to class. They flirt in that annoying way in these books. Again, he's like, they like, you know, there's this whole thing where Craven is like the number one. He's the best fighter in like the whole academy, and he's going to be like the next head. And he's like a nobleman who was like raised from birth for combat and to fight demons and all this stuff. And then she like takes him out because she watched John Cena in professional wrestling like once. Yep. And like wrestled with her little brother. Like, why the fuck is this here? Just again, it's like it's to prove that she's an annoying girl boss and that there's no way she's ever. It's and to take away all suspension of like threat. Right? Like, this guy is the strongest fighter in like her age range in the whole world, in this world full of like demons and monsters, and she easily overpowers him with like no practice, no training beforehand, no special powers. Like, at least in a fucking like Japanese isekai, like there's like, hey, oh, you got like the power to use your cell phone, or you're a fridge or whatever. This is just like, I'm just the best because I'm the best. Go fuck yourselves. And it's like, okay. Anyway, so then he gives her his ribbon for some reason. I'm assuming because they fuck eventually, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. Again, I don't. Not in this audiobook that I'm listening to, but whatever. So she goes to class. Seraphine is the teacher there, even though she's like one of the top knights in the world and is sending missions to other worlds. Now she's just like teaching class because fuck it, I guess. We get like the stupid bullshit about the 4 elements, like earth, fire, wind, like the most boring shit imaginable, and nothing new. It's just like people are bored with like some ability to manipulate something as long as they access like their limit break or something. Yep. But they only get one. My guess is that somehow, someday, somewhere, Val will get access to all of them, or like the extra power. There's like an ether power too or something. I don't remember. Anyway, so she makes a friend. I don't remember her name, and you shouldn't either because she shows up like very periodically. She's really not that important. She doesn't disappear though, like every other character that we've met up to this far. So Craven, Seraphina, her, Aaron, these are like characters that will return. So you kind of, at this point, pretty much everyone you meet at the academy will at least make like a appearance. Everyone that has like a voice line or like says anything of like even the remote is like now involved in the story. Her mother, her brother, Emmett, all these fucking dudes, like her best friend forever that she'll never forget. It says she instantly forgets because, you know, hot guy who treats her bad and chokes her out, obviously. Okay, so we also learned that demons... Oh, okay, yeah. So the demons also exist here because of gravity or something. Then Val gets told that like part of her training as a knight is she has to kill demons every week. But don't worry, they're just simulated demons or some bullshit. And because she's part of the 12, she has to kill like twice as many. Okay. The next class she goes to is Power and Control. And it's called Power and Control, so Val can make a 1980s like PC joke. Yep. Let's see. The teacher's one a bullshit. We never see her again in this book. There's a fighting class. We meet some guy there. He says some cryptic shit. We never see him again or get any conclusion to that. Oh, no. One thing he does say is that like, oh, sorry. He's like, looks at her. He's like, I feel like I've met you before. And Val's like, there's no way possible I've met you before. I'm human. And he's like, you look very familiar. And he's like, I got it. The queen. And it's like, what? It's like, you look just like the old queen. And she's like, okie dokie. So, oh, okay. Obviously, she's actually a member of this race and not a member of human race. And her dead dad is probably from this world. And we can figure all this out like at the first quarter. And then all of it gets like, yeah. We get a lot of confirmation on that. Again, this is not the end of the whole... I didn't finish this whole fucking series. But after this like first book, we get confirmation on almost 100% of everything that's super obvious right here. So again, very poor writing. Like no surprises. Not a single fucking surprise. Incredibly obvious and bad. Okay. Oh yeah, this is the part with, so now then she goes to the 12, there's like twins, there's apathetic guy, there's like tomboy, other tomboy, then there's like another guy who likes to cook, I guess, and then we get like, he uses a sword, he also uses a sword, he uses, I don't remember. The glaive is the one that stood out. I was like, a fucking glaive. Get the fuck out of here. If you know what a glaive is, it's like a spear, but it has like an axe blade at the end. It is what you would never use that in one-on-one combat. That would be like retarded because it's slow, it's like easily dodgeable, like there's absolutely no reason to use this outside of like I am a JRPG and I just want like a throw another weapon in here, but even then it would be part of like the spear group, right? Like, anyway, they decide that Val, who's the newest member of this like frat house, is going to do all the chores for everyone. So she gets moved in here, has to like clean up another room because the room she was in before was like in the dorms or something. And then she finds a whole bunch of stuff from home. Hooray, a letter from her mom, some other gifts she was supposed to get when she was turning 18, like from her dad. We don't ever find out what that is in this series. I think one of them was like, a bracelet or something. Anyway, meanwhile, Seraphina is going to meet with like the king of this world, who is actually an emperor because he rules over several kingdoms, and that makes him an emperor. That's literally what an emperor is. A king does not rule over several kingdoms, but he rules over the kingdom. And if there's more kingdoms, he is now an emperor. That's what makes him an emperor. Just so everyone's tracking. That's how that works. She's here because, you know, besides being a professor and like an explorer and a guardian of a woman, she like an adult woman technically, she still has to do like other bullshit night stuff because they can only trust her. So apparently the prince got corrupted by demons or something. So they need to like figure out a way to fix that or whatever. So she spends part of the book dealing with that. Back to Val. She is in the library doing tasks for the 12. She runs into number 4, who takes her back to cook dinner. Oh no, yeah, and then she cooks like the most blandest sounding fucking meal possible. It's like chicken and rice, and everyone's like, "I've never had anything this good." And I'm like, "Is this like a Dr. Stone issue where like you're literally eating like grass you pulled out of the field?" And so someone bakes you like toasted bread, and you're like, "What the fuck is happening?" Like, no, they have delicious food here. Like Val literally talks about all the delicious food that exists here, and then she just makes like fucking boiled chicken and rice. I'm not even fucking joking. And like a pecan pie. And everyone's just like gobsmacked by how great it is. And I was just like, oh my God damn. Anyway, so now she's part of like the kitchen duty as well as like all their fucking chores she does. Later on, she gets like a sense of like something, like obviously sensing some demon thing, knocking out like a chandelier or something. And so she saves these kids, these 2 boys and a girl, I think. And because of that, they like swear to her to be her aides, which apparently is like a super big deal because she tells like her friend in class and she's like, "Oh my God." And then they're in class and some asshole who's like Courtney's aide is like an asshole to her. So he punches her and then he like punches her back. And then everyone gets in trouble from Seraphina because they're not supposed to fight in class or whatever. And then this like blue-haired asshole with the lance challenges her to a duel. And she's like, no. And then Seraphina is like, that's an excellent idea. So that's happening. Later on, she's talking to her aides and such. And then Seraphina takes her somewhere, tells her she looks just like the previous queen, which has like been good information to have before. Like it just kind of spilled out from that other guy. They talk about the history of the world. It's super boring. Then they mention the hair and eye color thing the anime colors, obviously. There's a whole thing about like the history of the world is like 2 brothers, and like the younger brother was better than the older brother. The older brother got mad and then became possessed by like the demons, and so he's like started the demons. And then they train for a while. We learn about the killing joke or something, an ability. Yeah. They call it the killing. They call it the killing something, but it's a limit break. It's like when you get super angry, you get beat up, you can access like extra powers, but you got to control it or something. So that's gonna be important later, which is actually good writing. I have to give credits due. So then later on, she's listening to like, she gets more stuff from her mom, like Oreo cookies and like pop music. And so she's listening to like J-Lo or something and dancing, and then like her aides come in and they're like, "Wow, you're an amazing dancer," and she's like, "Tee hee, I'm not really that good, tee hee hee," or whatever. Her aides then explain to her this Zephron guy or whatever, the guy who's going to duel her, and how he fought Craven, but Craven won, but Craven's like super mad about it because the guy like beat Craven, it seems, so he's actually the best fighter in the whole school, but then he like he like quit at the last second, so Craven actually did win, but he didn't actually win. So of course when Val fights him, she's going to win, but win for realsies, right? Because she's the bestest ever. Okay, cool. Let's see, fights with the fans. It's fan fiction stuff. The fight's super boring, by the way, as well. It's not even like a fun, interesting fight or shonen fight. Like she just kind of like takes some hits, beats the shit out of him. People like comment about how great she is on the sideline, like Seraphina and Aaron, like, "Oh, she's fighting so well. She's so excellent. I can't believe blah blah blah." Eventually, the Zephyrin guy is like, "Oh, I'm not winning. I have to use fire magic." So he starts doing that, and then she's able to like dodge it or some shit. I don't know. It was so boring. I like zoned out for part of the fight. That's how bad it's written. And then she like beats him like for realsies, and then that's of course. So then she proves that she's actually worth being like the 5th or whatever. Oh no, yeah. And there's a whole scene. There's so much shit in this book. It's hard to like keep track of it all. Okay, so at some point she's like she's like kind of losing, and then she's beating him, and then she's kind of losing again because he uses fire magic, and then he like knocks her down, and then she's like, "I don't know if I can do this anymore." But then like her aides start singing Katy Perry. Now, if you remember, like 5 seconds ago, I said she was listening to Jennifer Lopez because I'm not just making this shit up. The book, and I bring this up purposely because just to show you that the author gives less of a fuck about this than I give about these videos I like put together in my car while I'm driving to work, right? Okay, so the author specifically says that she was listening to J-Lo, she was dancing to it, her friends came in, they listened to it a little bit, that's it, that's into that story. She might have said like, oh, and we listened to like other songs that I had, right? And then during the battle, she's like, my friends start singing Katy Perry, which they learned in like the 15 minutes that they were like just sitting around, I guess, and that inspired her to stand up. And it's like, okay, that's not a bad thought that like having friendship is magic. I will agree 100% with that. And her friends singing to help her like overcome whatever bullshit's going on in her head so that she can strive and be the bestest ever. I'm okay with that. The issue I have is like, you are writing this goddamn book. And again, it's another question where it's like, did AI write this? Because this is like an AI mistake. It's like AI, you're like, hey, AI, because AI, you're not just like write a story AI. You're like, all right, I want a scene where she gets inspired by like pop music or like the music she was listening to when they were dancing before, and the AI will have forgotten and just be like, oh, Katy Perry instead of Jennifer Lopez, right? It's like one of those things where it's like, the fuck, man. And so it just like stood out because I was like, Katy Perry, the fuck? Like when did they ever listen to Katy Perry? Like off screen? Like write your shit better, man. Just say Jennifer Lopez. It's not that hard. You literally mentioned it before, or just change it. Just like don't just like type shit out and hit send. Be like, okay, motherfucker. All right, and I'm gonna write my like 4 pages for the week, and then I'm gonna like read my 4 pages for the week, and I'm gonna remember what I wrote like 2 weeks ago or a week ago, or I'm just gonna go look. I'm like, oh, what was it? I can literally just like log into this website where I upload this bullshit and take a gander at it and be like, okay, I said Jennifer Lopez, so I'll just put Jennifer. I'll change it to Jennifer Lopez. Got it. Not even that much work. Like no work involved. Like no fucks giving about like writing this thing. Anyway, and this is also where we get the comment about how like, oh, he's fighting with the lance. I mean, he fights the best like in like a circle around himself, and it's like, okay, sure. Anyway, oh, and also at this point, this is the point where I realized that Val is written like an autistic middle school boy. Like you could literally just have an autistic middle school boy in this story, and it would change absolutely nothing. Like he could be gay because every now and then she's checking dudes out. That's fine. And there would be no difference. Like her being a woman has no place or effect in this story whatsoever. And that again is like, so why? Why is she a woman? Why is she anything? There's no point. At one point she is like, it comes up that like she has like menstrual pads, and apparently they don't have menstruations here because one of the girls is like, what is this? And it's like, God damn it. Why are we talking about menstruation? But that's it. That's it. It never comes up again. It's not a plot point. They don't like this difference between humans and hunes or whatever. This is just like it's there and then it's gone. And it's like, why is this here? Because this person it was on their period and we just felt like talking about it. Yeah, she's way more of an asshole than most dudes. Let's see. Thinks about, of course, so she wins the battle, and she actually wins. So she's even better than Craven, apparently, which we already knew that because she like wrestled in with her like inability to actually wrestle. But she's super injured. Oh, another fun part about this is like there's a whole conversation, like a long conversation about how she got really beat up. She's going to need a couple weeks to recover, and that she cannot use her hands in that time. So someone's going to have to help her because her hands are so damaged from like this battle for whatever reason. And then it gets brought up multiple times. And then, so the guy she beat up, he's fine. They're back in class. He's in this class, and he starts hitting on her, and is like, I love you now. And she's like, get the fuck out of here. Or she's like, you're an asshole. Fuck you, brat. Or not fuck you. It's hard to swear because she doesn't swear like a normal person. She swears like an autistic middle schooler. So she's like, whatever, asshole bastard. Like that. And he's like, oh yeah, I like that. You're so cute when you're angry. And she's like, asshole, cunt. And it's like, what the fuck? Craven then gets her for initiation. And at this point, the numbers in this book are all fucked up. Like it's like chapter 29, chapter 30, chapter 29, part 2. And it's not like chapter 29 and chapter 29, part 2 are like, it's not the order. It's just the numbering's fucked up. Like it should be chapter 29, chapter 30, chapter 31, chapter 32. But it's like all the time it'll be like chapter 5.1, chapter 5.2, chapter 5.3, chapter 5.4, right? But in this specific instance, it's just like chapters are like totally fucked up. So it's just, and this is the audiobook. Again, it's like, if that's how she wrote it originally, you can make that edit when you're doing the audio recording. Like, what the fuck? Okay, so at this initiation, she meets up with Aaron and the headmaster of the school. We learn that the 12 were actual dudes who helped the king put the demon lord to sleep originally, and now she's being entrusted with one of the 11 keys that will like unlock the tomb of the king to get his like super magical sword or whatever. It's the most magical, powerful sword in all the world or whatever. And then I'm like, what? And then I start laughing because I'm like, why are these students? They're just students. Why are they entrusted with it? And then to the credit of the author, Val brings it up not once but twice, because the first time she brings it up, apparently the author forgot to like write an answer because they just like start talking about something completely different. And then like 3 minutes later in the fucking audiobook, she brings it up again, but not like, you didn't answer my question before. She's just like, oh, okay, so why do students have these keys? And it's like, okay, just edit your own shit. Like, just put it in Grammarly. Like, I'm not even asking for that much, right? Like, you can get a free Grammarly account, just throw that shit in there and just like glance at it. Jesus. Or ChatGPT, hey ChatGPT, what's going on here? And ChatGPT will be like, hey, you asked the same question twice. And you're like, okay, leave that first. Then we head over to Serafina. She's looking into more stuff about the prince becoming a demon. That's it. Nothing new. No one. There's no reason for this to happen. Like, it doesn't progress anything. She doesn't learn anything new. It's just like some bullshit. We then go back to Val, and we have this super intricate detail about this movie. So she's like, I got a movie. And her like the 12 are like, what's a movie? And they're like, we can watch it on my laptop. And so they start watching this movie, and it's some romantic comedy or some bullshit. And then we go from the story to this movie for like 5 minutes of the audiobook, if not longer. Like, it was so maybe 10 minutes. It was so goddamn long. Like, and I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, it was so awful. Like, I cannot describe it. Like, the writing in this movie was like 1,000 times worse than this book. And just like the story was like, who gives a fuck? And it did nothing. It just was like, look at me. I like doing bullshit. Anyway, at some point the head of the school comes and tells her that the king wants to see her. So she has to go dressed up. Of course, she's the most beautiful girl in all the land when she like puts some makeup on stuff. And even Craven is like getting hard for her or whatnot. It's like complete 90s logic where it's like you take the glasses off the girls. And it's like all of a sudden they go from like, I'm going to vomit to like the most beautiful woman anyone's ever seen. She sees the king. They talk. We get some more lore dump about the 6 continents. So the empire that he rules over. God damn it. So then the king, let's see. He freaks out because this guy, she looks just like his dead wife, right? They'd have like a creepy hug and then they chat for a bit about her being the guardian of Earth when she finishes the school. Finally, he talks her into like agreeing to it. Then they go to dinner. They meet Garvin, who's Craven's cousin. Yep, and and he's also hot, but he's flirty, but he's older, and he's not interested in her because he's like, you're gonna marry Craven, I just know it. And the king's like, I think that's a great idea. And then she's so embarrassed, she drops her drink, and so excuses herself to go to the bathroom, and instead she like breaks out a window and goes walking around a garden where she runs into the prince, and the prince is like all hooded up, and he pretends to be like the valet of the prince instead. And then she goes back to the dinner, and then later on, Serafina comes to talk to the king. We find out that she is the nephew of the king, or sorry, she is the niece of the king. And also, this is the line where it's like, the king is like, Val is so amazing. She's so altruistic. Or Serafina is like, yes, she's super altruistic. And I was like, flipping through, I was in my mind, I was like, when? She never did there was not a single time she did a single thing that was altruistic, ever. Maybe she bought ice cream for Serafina that one time, right? That was it. That's the only time. Like, the fuck book. Jesus Christ. Let's see. Oh yeah, and so if the son becomes a demon, he needs her to take over as like the heir to the throne, within like the Game of Thrones or whatever. Later on, Courtney shows back up. She wants to duel Val again, of course. Val's like, maybe. Later, Courtney tries to fight Val in the courtyard because of something she thinks that, like, so Val's like protege or whatever. No, so Courtney's aide tells Courtney that Val did something that Val's like, I did not do. I was not there. I can prove it. And she's like, whatever. Because Courtney's also like a middle school autistic boy. And so they just like yell at each other. And then Val goes to like takes a bath. And then while chilling, she has like a nap, and then she gets like pulled in by Liberito. Nikkei got us a victory, right? She gets seduced. There's this demon who pulls her into the water and tries to seduce her or whatever. And so she kind of like frees herself, but then Craven jumps in and frees her. And then he sees her completely covered in a towel where all he can see is like her shoulders, like no nakedness at all. And he gets super embarrassed, and she like kicks his ass and calls him an asshole bastard like multiple times. And I'm like, okay, Jesus. So then they go to the headmaster and Aaron and Seraphina and the 12, and they talk about this demon thing, and they talk about how the barrier might be becoming weaker, and how they have to go get the king can't come because he's weak, and the prince can't do it because of reasons. Right? We all know that it's the demon thing, but we can't know about that. And so then they kind of look. Aaron looks over at Seraphina, and she's like X-nay, 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 X-nay. So then they decide they're going to go ask the king's brother, who is Seraphina's father. So everyone now finds out that Seraphina is related to the king. Even though we just found out like 2 seconds ago. So this could have just been brought up here instead of before. Anyway, and to fix the barrier. And so they're going to send the 12 to get them, including Val, so that people don't think there's some weirdness there. Because something about their little battle in the courtyard with Courtney, is that what this happens? Oh, no, this happens in a minute. Okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah, and we find out that Seraphina's dad's kind of a rapscallion. He kind of just does whatever the fuck he wants and is like a womanizer and whatnot. Anyway, later on, Craven's in his room getting changed, and then Val like walks in, and she's like, "Oh, my stars and garters, he's so fucking hot." And then she's like, apologizes. She kind of like reluctantly apologizes for accusing him of sexual harassment multiple times, and still calls him like a bastard and like slaps him for no reason. And he's just like, "What the fuck?" Anyway, so she's leaving his room, and then Courtney comes up to fight her again, and then like Val recognizes that she's being possessed by like a demon. And so they kind of like fight. Stuff, no reason. Anyway. Oh, so during the scuffle, the necklace that like protects her from being pulverized by like the pressure or whatever comes off. And then she like passes out because she's going to die, but dun dun dun, we find out she's not human, obviously. And so she doesn't die of the pressure. And then she mentions like, she sees like a demon, or Courtney's visage change, so she was kind of like possessed by this demon or something or whatever. Anyway, so then the 12 go off to find Seraphina's dad, which ends the first book. And that's it. I'm not reading more of this shit. It's awful. It's already deleted from my drive forever to be cast off. And it was awful and garbage. I highly, highly, highly recommend do not read this. It is such trash garbage. Like people throw around the word slop a lot, but this is literally just like slop. Like it is like, it's not even slop, because slop could be like, you know, romantasy generally. Like it's just like trash, but there's some pornography in there, and you're like, no, I'm not reading it for the pornography, I'm reading it for the relationships and blah, blah, blah. This is just like, what? There's not even that in it. Like there's no reason. Like this person put zero effort into it. Like I don't understand why this got made into an audiobook. It's one of those like baffling situations where it's like, who was like, this needs to be an audio. We need to spend money creating this audiobook and putting it out there, when it's like, the story is not even, it's like garbage. Like who's going to pay for this? Like, did someone pay for this? Like, it's mind boggling. It's so bad. Anyway, that's all I got to say about Celeste Academy, or whatever the fuck this thing's called. So go ahead, like, share, subscribe, comment, and I will catch you guys later.